Careful. This is the moment when the supposedly dead killer comes back to life for one last scare.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the One Less Scare channel, the show where we discuss all your favorite scary movies, like Scream. So my plan for these videos is I'm going to be filming them in advance. This is January I'm currently filming this in, and my plan is to release them leading up to Scream 6, maybe like once a week until Scream 6 comes out, I don't know. But anyway, this is what I'm calling the Screamathon, named after the Stabathon from Scream 4, just changed a bit because the films aren't called Stab in the real world, called Scream, so it makes a lot more sense that way. But yeah, let's get into it with the original Scream from 1996. So, first off, we're going to discuss the opening kill because it's Scream. The opening kill is one of the most iconic parts of this film, and one of the most iconic parts of the franchise. Everyone knows that these films start off in always the exact same way. Because come on, the movies always start off with a woman home alone. She's making popcorn or something, like in the case of Scream 1, and all of a sudden she gets a mysterious phone call from a mysterious voiced stranger. Turns out that this stranger is the killer. He says something that makes her panic a bit, and then before you know it, boom, she's dead.
I only eat popcorn at the movies.
Well, I'm getting ready to watch a video.
Really? What?
Oh, just some scary movie.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
Halloween. You know, the one with the guy in the white mask who walks around and stalks babysitters.
Which is why it's so great, because eventually they change that, sort of. You'll see what I mean at some point, if I end up making them in time. Okay, never mind. We had this opening scene, the opening sequence of Casey Becker alone. She gets the phone call from Ghostface. Obviously doesn't know it's a murderer, just thinks it's a nice guy, but then obviously the conversation changes, and it's just amazing suspense building throughout the entire scene. And honestly, the opening sequence could be a short film. This is just an iconic opening scene. One of the most brutal scenes in the entire franchise, I'm honest, because they don't really... The kills in Scream are mostly just stabbings and shootings. It's never really explicit as it is as Casey's death in Scream 1. But it was this time, because it was Casey's death in Scream 1, which is very explicit. Okay, but next, we're going to be talking about the main friend group of the film, who are the main key suspects. We have Billy Loomis, we have Stu Macher, Tatum Rowley, and Randy Meeks. I'm not counting the other members of the trio, because we'll get there in a second. Calm down, everyone. Calm down. But yeah, I think the main thing I want to point out is this film is really funny. People wouldn't expect it for a horror film, but it's quite the funny film, I'd say. There's some things I always find, like, there's Billy Loomis, and the fact he's so obsessed with movies that he constantly compares his relationship to movies. Like, there's the scene where I'm just gonna play it, but the scene where he just starts talking about The Exorcist for no reason.
I'm watching television. The Exorcist was on. Got me thinking of you.
I've always found that hilarious. Just, oh yeah, The Exorcist was on. Got me thinking about you. Why do you think of someone after watching The Exorcist? Why? Stu Macher's funny because Matthew Lillard, who also plays Shaggy in Scooby-Doo, plays him, and just a master performance right there. Also improvised the iconic my mom and dad are gonna be so mad at me line, which that's one of my favorite parts of the film. Tatum's also quite funny in this.
All right, she's staying with us tonight.
No, does Mom know?
Yes, doofus.
Let's get you out of here.
He's my superior.
Janitor's your superior.
And next up, of course, we have Randy Meeks, who has a lot of funny scenes.
Was that before or after he sliced and diced?
Fuck you, nutcase. Where were you last night?
Working, thank you.
Oh, at the video store? I thought they fired your sorry ass.
Twice. Did you really put her liver in the mailbox? Because I heard that they found her liver in the mailbox next to her spleen and her pancreas.
Randy, you goon fuck. I'm trying to eat here.
Excuse me.
A very simple formula. Everybody's a suspect.
You know he's around. You know. Look, there he is. I told you he's right around the corner.
Jamie, look behind you. Look behind you.
Turn around.
Behind you. Oh, turn around. Behind you. Behind you, Jamie. Jamie, turn around.
Oh God, I think you turned around.
He also is a horror fan, so he's like, you know, the rule explainer, of course. There are a lot of red herrings in this film to who the killer is, and Randy being a horror nerd is actually part of that, because there's the iconic scene where he starts going over the rules of surviving a horror film, and earlier on in the film, Ghostface calls out some similar rule books of how horror movies work. Like, again, I'll play the clip.
Who's there? Who's there? I'm calling the police.
You should never say who's there. Don't you watch scary movies? It's a death wish. You might as well just come out here to investigate a strange noise or something.
Now, of course, we have the trio. This is our introduction to the franchise's main trio. Sidney Prescott, Gail Weathers, and Deputy Dewey Riley, or Deputy Dwight Riley, as his full name is. Yeah, because this is an introduction. Only two of them are friends at a time. They're not all like not a big friend group. They're not even a small friend group. You'd think maybe at the end of the film, oh, that's going to change, but oh, wait till we get to Scream 2. Just you wait. Just you wait. But yeah, again, these are all great characters. There's a lot of praise I can give to this film that it definitely deserves. This is an incredible film, in my opinion. Next up, I'm just going to talk about some kills I really wanted to highlight that aren't just, you know, typical Scream, or if it wasn't obvious, that was someone getting stabbed and someone getting shot, but the second one was definitely obvious. But of course there's Tatum's death, which it's probably the most inventive kill in the movie, where she's trying to crawl through the garage door and she gets stuck, and that Ghostface opens it and it lifts her up and bones break, I guess. But it's also worth mentioning that Stu's death is shocking. I'm so proud of myself for that one. There's also the Ghostface reveal, which is the thing I'm going to highlight in all of these, and it's, in my personal opinion, one of the best parts of each film, except for 3. We'll get there when we get there, but trust me, when we get to 3, I am going to rip that film to shreds. Just you wait. But yeah, of course, this time around, it's revealed that Billy is the killer, and while that's probably not some big, massive reveal, considering he's like painted as the film's main suspect throughout, where you know, he's at Sydney's house and a cell phone falls out of his pocket back in 1996. You know, 1990. Yeah, no, because that's right. Cell phones weren't as common. So that was a bit suspicious that he had that after she'd experienced a phone call from a man who definitely was not using a landline type phone. But I think what like makes the reveal was the reveal that there's two killers, because this was like the first time, correct me if I'm wrong, this was the first time a horror film had two killers like this, and it would be such a shocking twist, I think, just to be in 1996 watching that film for the first time and just seeing this scene.
Corn syrup. Same stuff they use for pig's blood in Carrie.
Help me, please.
Surprise, Sydney.
It would be a massive shock to anyone, I think. Unless, you know, you've already seen the movie, but chances are you're watching it in 1996, I know none of you are, you wouldn't know who the killer was. There's also a lot of Ghostface clues that I really appreciate. There's certain audio cues that play when Billy shows up on the screen sometimes.
Billy!
Door's locked. I heard screaming. I'm telling you, the dad's a red herring. It's Billy.
There's also a clue that there's two killers, which is in the form of, in the opening scene, when Ghostface is in Casey's house, he immediately runs to the front door. Now, at the time, you don't know why this is, but if you've either got to the end of the film and you're still thinking about the start of the film, or if you just rewatch the film, you can gather it was to let his accomplice in so they could both search for him more efficiently. There's also a lot of red herring characters in this film, which is something I really appreciate, considering it makes it so much harder to guess who it is for new people watching the film, I guess. There's, of course, Randy, the horror nerd. I've already explained him. He explains the rules of horror, and Ghostface is known to operate on the rules of horror, as he tells Casey in this scene. There's Neil Prescott, who is like the biggest red herring, but that's intentional because it's all part of Billy and Stu's master plan to frame him as the killer, which includes, you know, cloning his phone and making all the calls to all the victims through that. They obviously tie him up and they're gonna shoot him, stage like a suicide, and act like he was the killer the whole time. And then I don't think this was one they planned. This was just a little red herring that director Wes Craven threw in. I think the name of the actual Ghostface costume in the film isn't the Ghostface costume. It is instead the Father Death costume. This, to me, is an obvious red herring about how they're trying to trick you into thinking it's Sydney's dad, because, oh, look at that. It says Father Death. Father, as in the main character's father, and death because everyone's dying. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like and subscribe, or this creepy guy will get you. Trust me, I know. Anything you want to say to them, Chucky? Okay, no, he's not speaking. Should have guessed. Bye. Thanks so much for watching this video, guys. Next up will be Scream 2, released in 1997, just 1 year after the first film, which is also what Scream 6 is doing. It's releasing 1 year after Scream 5, so they must have had both of them planned for a while, because the fact that they were able to pump it out so fast is a bit concerning otherwise. Hope it's good. Premise sounds amazing, so it better be. Yep, stay tuned. Bye. See you in the next one, hopefully.